Ian Shin, and welcome to the Baking Shin, the show that tries to show that baking is fun, easy, and I think rather appealing. So today we're going to make tourtière, or Quebecois meat pies, or French-Canadian meat pies. And this is a recipe based off of Lyndsay Wells' recipe for tourtière, so you know it's going to be delicious. And I think this recipe is just perfect for this time of year, because it's starting to get rather chilly here in France. It was 14 degrees C the other day, or that's about 60 degrees F for us Americans out there. And this pie has a sort of very meaty, very warming, spiced filling that's just perfect when you're a little cold and you want to get warmed up. And also I think alternatively this would be very good for the springtime, because we're going to make this with a very special strong pastry that can really stand up to transportation. So on va commencer. Let's get started. To make this Canadian specialty, for the filling, we shall need 1.5 pounds pork, 1 pound beef, 3 garlic cloves and 2 medium onions chopped up, black pepper, 1.5 large stock cubes or to your taste, and about a tablespoon of Quatre Epices spice mix. Also, you will need about 200 grams potato, or the equivalent of about 3 medium potatoes. I also added parsley, but that's optional, but I think it adds a little freshness. And also another note, I used French Quatre Epices spice mix, which is a blend of cinnamon, cloves, ginger, and nutmeg, but the original recipe calls for cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice. But I find the taste to be quite similar and more conducive to French supermarkets. And now to make the filling, simply mix all the ingredients except the potatoes in a bowl. Then brown the meat in a Dutch oven, and then add a little water so the bottom does not burn, and then bring this to a boil, and then simmer it with the lid closed on for 20 minutes. And then take the lid off and heat on medium-high until almost all of the liquid is gone, about 20 minutes. Now for the potatoes, one can use leftover mashed potatoes, but if you don't have any, just boil and mash the potatoes as you usually would. And I'm going to use my hands to mash the potatoes, but feel free to use the instrument of your choice. And now mix the mashed potatoes with the meat mixture very well and set aside to chill thoroughly. To make the special strong pastry, mix 500 grams strong white flour, 5 grams salt, 100 grams soft butter, and 250 milliliters water. Knead into an elastic dough which will take about 5 minutes. When finished, let rest at least 10 minutes. To assemble the pie, divide the dough into 2 parts. With the first bit, roll it out and line a buttered cake ring with the rolled out dough, like so, and cut off any excess, but leave a little bit. Fill the mold with the chilled meat filling and roll out the second half of the pastry and place this on top, making sure again to cut off any excess. And of course, crimp the edges to seal it in. Glaze with egg wash and decorate with parsley if you wish. Also, cut some slits to allow steam to get out. Bake at 400 degrees F or 200 degrees C for about 45 minutes to an hour. Goodness, that looks inviting. And here's the finished Quebecois meat pie, or tourtière. And as you can see, it's quite heavy. This is about 2 pounds of luxurious meat. And the pastry is very, very strong. And you can tell because it's holding its shape. If you did something like pâte brisée or short crust pastry, it would crumble and you couldn't hold it like this, and it wouldn't be quite as portable. And this really does go a long way. I would say this would serve about 8 hungry guests. But you gotta make sure your guests are big meat fans. They like a lot of meat, because this is quite the meaty pie. So this smells very aromatic, so let's give this a bit of a try. That's awfully good. The filling it's rather spicy, but not hot spicy. The kind of spicy like when you eat a good curry. and your mouth is lifted by the spices. And I love how savory this is, and this is really nice for the winter months, which are almost upon us, I would say. And that crust is a bit almost like bread. And I love that it keeps its shape very well. And I'm going to have a little parsley salad with this, of course. Always a good thing. And a little bread. And of course, since this is France, it's very nice to have a bottle of red wine while you're drinking this. But it's a school week, it's a school day tomorrow, so I'm just going to have some white wine. Actually, this is water. Wow. And that's how to make tourtière, or Quebecois meat pie. And this is a lovely recipe to have in your recipe books, because you can make everything ahead of time. You could make the pastry and the filling ahead of time and just keep it in the refrigerator. Or you could make the whole pie ahead of time and serve it at a picnic or a luncheon cold. And that would also be equally as lovely. And this is a great portable dish too, because the pastry is so strong. So it really holds up to a picnic basket or something like that. Also, another note, I'd like to thank Lyndsay Wells, aka the Kitchen Witch, because this is her recipe for tourtière. And it's a very fine, very good recipe, very dependable. And if you haven't checked out her channel, I highly suggest you do. I think it's a really groovy channel. I think she really knows how to make magic in the kitchen, and a very entertaining show. So, thanks very much for joining me today on the Baking Chin. My name is Ian Chin, and as always I wish you happy baking.